Hello guys. So today this is my first live for 2023. Okay, so um today we will talk about the five languages of love. I'm sure some of you know this already, but if you don't, listen to this. And I guarantee you, if you know how to apply the five languages of love, your relationship with your children and maybe your partner will extremely go well. Intimacy level up. Okay, so let's start. Let's dive in into the five language of love. Okay, so the five love languages or the five languages of love. So first, before I continue, let me tell you that we are not going to define love and we are not going to define language. We are only gonna talk how to apply the five languages of love. So it's up to you what do you mean by love, and it's up to you what do you mean by languages. But for me, for our topic for today, there are two kinds of languages, the verbal and the non-verbal. So we will use those two in this five language of love. So let's proceed. What's the first language of love? The first language of love, since there are five, the first will be words of affirmation. What is words of affirmation and how to apply that? Okay, so most of us, we are so fast at looking or noticing when there's something wrong. We're very quick to judge. So every time we see something wrong with our children, we always say that right away. But what how how do we use the language of love, which is words of affirmation? So if you are too quick to see what's wrong, we should also be too quick to see what is right. Because if you only notice the wrong, the negative ones, the tendency is your children will repeat only what you always notice. So every time they make a mistake and you notice it, make sure you notice also the good things. Example, when you notice that they are wearing dirty clothes or an attire that is not an appropriate attire, you should make sure that you also notice when they wear good attire. And you will say, this is how to use the words of affirmation. Hey, I like your dress today. You look good in it. For example, if he did something wrong or your children did something wrong, you correct what is wrong. Example, don't do that. That's not good. But if they do something right and good, you should also notice it and you say, wow, I like you today. That's good. That's good. You're good today. Example, if you were at home and you see your children washing dishes, so you affirm. So, wow, you're very good today, huh? You're washing dishes, which is something that I appreciate. So if you see something correct, good, and worth of the appreciation and recognition, you should say that aloud. Okay, so what is the second language of love? The second language of love is physical touch. So, how do you say, how do you apply physical touch? So, for your little children, because our topic are for parents to show their love to their own children, their own child. So, when you say the words of affirmation, make sure that there's a corresponding touch. For example, uh, when you see them cleaning their room and you say the word of affirmation, wow, you're good. Your room is now it looks good today because you arrange everything. So come here, give me five, or high five. With that, you were able to touch them because usually the children will only remember uh, the the painful touch. We usually give them the painful touch, those touch that hurt them, the pinch here, pinch there, pinch everywhere. So that's why it's not a good touch. It's not a good physical touch. So this time, if you want to show them your love, touch them with a touch that's that makes them feel comfortable and safe. Yes. So if you say, give me high five, a proper high five, or I like you today, son, that's good, or a tap here on the shoulder. And the most sensitive part of the children is the back here. When they cry, you touch them at the back. It's a comforting touch for them. So if you're the parent and you were not able to touch your children, even if you say and told them every day that you love them, unless you touch them at least 3 times a day, you have never shown them the real love. Yes, because love is not only words. So love should be felt, and you cannot always feel the words. You can feel the words with a touch. So sorry to tell you, if you work away from home and you only go home once every 2 years, I'm sorry to tell you, but your children will not recognize you. You're a stranger to them because you were not able to touch them the way a parent should. Okay, so let's proceed to the third language of love. The third language of love is receiving gifts. Now this is gonna be an issue because we all think that giving gifts will be something financially traumatic. How could I give gifts if I have 5 children? Well, and how can I give gifts every day? Because giving of gifts is, you should do this every day. And I mean every day. So when I say gifts, let's define gifts. Gifts are things that you give when that person is not asking for it. So a gift is something that you did not ask for. So meaning it doesn't have to be placed in a fancy wrapping paper. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Okay? And it doesn't have to be big. Sorry. It's a simple gift that they never asked for, but you gave it to them. So that's why here in the Philippines, most children love their mother, because every time their mother comes home, their mother has something for their children, while their father doesn't. So maybe you need to give them just simple candy, simple bread, or something, a, a thing or a food in every day. So that's a gift. So example, you work and then you pass by something, a donut or an ice cream. You don't need an occasion to give your children something. Okay, so that's how to give a gift. So if you are away and you come home again once every 2 years, you're simply saying that you love them only once in every 2 years. Well, if you have a maid or babysitter, your children will most likely love them than you, because their babysitter may give them a lollipop every time, but you didn't. So, receiving gifts. So, if a child receive a gift, for them it's love. If the child receive a word of affirmation, for them it's love. And if you touch them with tender, loving care touch, they knew it is love. So, the fourth language of love is this: quality time. So it doesn't mean you are there, you're presently and physically there. Doesn't mean you are giving quality time. Because quality time means bonding. You're talking to each other. You connect to each other. So how do you give quality time to your children? So a good example would be every time your children is asking you a simple, very simple question, don't deny the time. Give time to answer their questions, even if it's too silly. So sometimes the children ask, Dad, why is the water wet? But what kind of question is that? You may say that, but it maybe sounds silly, but your child is just asking for a quality time. He just wants to talk to you and wants you to connect to them. Okay, so that's quality time. So you could watch a movie, you laugh together, you scream together if it's a horror movie, you cry together if it's a sad movie. So you connect, you talk. Okay? And the last language of love, and this is why most babysitters here in the Philippines are loved by the ones who they babysit, because they give them this acts of service. So the acts of service is just very simple. You bathe them. Every time the child eats, you feed them. Every time the child is crying, you hug them. That's touch, right? And that's quality time also. So meaning, the acts of service is the ingredients will complete all the five language of love. If you lack one, it's just like a dish lacks one ingredient and it will taste differently. So if you want to show your child you love them, all the five language of love must be present. Not only one, not only the word of affirmation, not only gifts, because this is a sad reality. My uncle, he's an OFW, and I saw their family had good things, nice things in their house. Well, our family doesn't have. They have big TV, a big house, and many toys. Well, me and my family doesn't have it. But one time when their father went home, their father is like a stranger to them. They only want the gifts from him, but not his presence. They feel that someone, a stranger, came into their house and they want that person to leave right away. And that's a sad reality. So, if you think that you could give a thing to your children and that's showing love to them, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's not correct. It's wrong. Because showing love is, you need also to touch them. You need also to show them that you serve them. And you also need to have quality time with them. Talking to a video call is not a quality time because it lacks the physical touch. So I think I've said enough. So if you agree with me, please share this video, subscribe to my channel, and just please click the notification bell for another video uploads. But if not, it's okay. Thank you for your time and see you on my next live. Bye.